at the shop. I have clients to do as well, multitasking. I have my mask, but she's 6 feet away. So don't worry about that. I have a temperature gauge as well. All the requirements necessary. But for the mannequin, can y'all see her? Because I feel I have to stack this up on books. Okay. So I just saturated her slightly to show y'all the blow dry. It is a pre-dry, if I'm not mistaken, and a bevel, correct, Rachel?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So I do not have menstrual products. I use clothes. My flat iron Clio, my flat iron as well. And so some of my stuff is menstrual. Anyway, for y'all, connector piece for your control of your nozzle. Mine is a comb because most of my clients are natural. And the comb allows me to move a little bit faster where y'all got the straight piece. If I don't want to use a comb or a brush, I can go into it directly with my comb and still get the same results. But I'll use the brush for y'all purposes because y'all got to use it. All right. So I always test my feet on the inside of my arm. It's a habit of mine. I need to know how hot it would feel if it was on my scalp. If I can put my fingers in her hair at the same time, that's how I check my work. My cool shot is my fingers always on the trigger like I'm shooting a gun. I know that's a horrible reference, but if the client has the slightest move, I'm gonna hit the cool shot because I initially think that the blow dryer is too hot on her scalp. But they could be moving for any reason. It could be to check their phone or just to scratch their nose. I have it. Okay. So yeah, pre-dry is always, your handle is in the direction of where your non-dominant, for me, my dominant hand is my right, my non-dominant hand is. And we're taking, those beginner strokes. I know at school, y'all probably hate blow dry boot camp. I like it just because I get to tell y'all, spray it down and do it again. But outside of that, I hate it. But I had to do it just like y'all do. In a small section. The reason why I'm starting in front of the client's hair is because y'all do know that if you do a haircut or if you do a color, the client wants to see the work. So don't ever do their nape area first. If they have a fringe, you always do the fringe first because you don't want it to dry crazy. Just sitting there waiting for you, but then it's to give them the opportunity to see your work. But I've been wondering, like, is this the color that I really wanted? And all the extra stuff that comes with it. Time is money in real life. So where y'all are blow drying and taking baby strokes, I'm going hella fast, right? Because I want it to have movement and I want it to dry fast. But the food with generally telling you I'm following, I'm doing the same thing and just moving my hands. So the stroke, that's the movement. Your brush can be your divider. The brushes of your brush, your clip, if you are a perfectionist and when other hairs fall in your way that irritates you, use your clip, use your fingernail. Whatever you need to get the job done. But our free blow dryers are always trying to get the hair, what is it, 75% dry. So that we can have control, eliminate frizz. And I have a billion products here, so I didn't want to bombard y'all. I use the Reconstructor. I use it on everybody. One, because it's summertime 2 because the finish blazing, 3 because of the reconstructive and the leave-in, so it's doing a treatment at the same time. It just makes the hair more pliable, not for the indication that they have damage or anything, just because it's a barrier. It's just like hot off the press, or hot off the press will protect the hair strand from the heat. The reconstructive just gives the hair strand an extra barrier, depending on what you're going to do when you leave the salon. If you're going to the thing, if you like Sarah and you're going to sit in the hammock all afternoon, please. So I bevel and showing y'all on this mannequin, my elbow or my wrist looks weird. Hey, Kayla. And it's only because I'm double jointed. So I think most of y'all know that. So my hand placement might seem a little off. And it's only because I'm double jointed, so that doesn't hurt me where it could. Longevity causes tension on your wrist. The one thing that with blow drying, if we follow it through, then we eliminate a lot of frizz from the start. And your mid shaft is normally where you got to do the most work at to get your tangled off. And it's only because the hair is still damp, not because, again, your color isn't correct or your client is unmanageable. But our ends are generally more porous, so there's things to dry faster. We have to pay more attention to because we're right there on top of the client's head. And with our bevel, we follow it through and we glide it off to allow it to slide. So even if I move fast, if I take my time in my mid shaft, I'll get my products work and I'll get less frizz. Whereas, sometimes we blow dry hair and it looks like this side, because I didn't blow dry. I just comes out. And you're like, what did I put on my hair? It's just because you didn't take your time. So if I get to my midsection and I have a tub, that is one indication that it's still damp somewhere. Take your hands, run it through, figure it out. If I have a glide and I have a lot of frizz, then I can control that with my flat iron. Now, the biggest thing with flat iron that I see you teachers do is not a horrible thing, but y'all gotta pay attention to your temperature gauge. Sorry for the vibration. This flat iron vibrates when I close it. It's just to, hey Kayla, to you again. This allows my wrist to get a relaxation when I'm flat iron. The vibration in the flat iron. So most of the time when we flat iron, we clamp really tight. The vibration is allowing my wrist to control itself. Well, calm itself down. So with flat iron, it depends on the client's hair. I generally flat iron with my all-purpose comb. Hey, promise you. But if I have a client that has a lot of hair, I bark clamps. And these work amazing for Ariel, my baby, where I rarely flat iron her hair. I can use the base of it to part her hair off. And once I clamp down, it's locked. So the comb is gonna glide through and my flat iron should be on top at all times. But it's for my big hair baby. Just wanted to show y'all. All right, so this client is one of the clients that we had for Tyson when we done our last color class. So y'all don't talk about me. Okay? So she had so many colors. We had to do a different multiple things on the quadrant. But because this client, I know, yeah, she has a shadow root. I lightened her hair. I believe, baby, like I wouldn't flat iron her off the rip at 352. One, because I took my time and eliminated most of my frizz with my blow dry. I could turn that heat down and still get the same results, even with product on. So I know y'all have heard me say this before a zillion times. If the client, if the smoke around you is not white and it's gray, you're burning product off their hair as well as the hair shaft. If it's white, it's okay. You don't want smoke coming off your client's head every stroke with a flat iron. That's indication that it's too hot. Or the sizzle, if y'all are spritz babies, spritz should be used as your finishing, your last finish, not spray it with spritz. Crunch, 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 sizzle, sizzle, all the way down to the end. You should flat out because you're damaging the hair follicle. All right, so with flat iron, if I go in, depending on how smooth I wanted the density of the client's hair, my subsection can be anywhere from 1/4 to a half subsection. I wouldn't do 1/8 because that's too thin. But if she has a lot of hair and I have to use my locking comb, I will. So we go in, close, comb is underneath, and we make slow but consistent flows all the way down. If I'm respecting the client's hair, if I'm respecting that she has color, then I understand what my temperature gauge should be. If I go through with the flat iron one time slow enough and consistent enough, this should not be you shouldn't bust your follicle back open. If you allow it to flat iron, drop, and cool, the hair won't expand back on you. It won't get frizzy again. And then you'll have a perfect chunk. Another section. And I always come through just because I want to make sure she has no tangles. Because who wants to get missed after you're yanking out her hair and the flat iron is on it? It's going to cause a crease. Slow and steady. My ends are the most porous, so I don't necessarily need my comb all the way down to the end. Leave it alone and allow it to cool. Then I can come through it. My shine, no frizz. And my finished product is from Mitchell. Invisible wear. It's my favorite. I'm out of control with it. It's probably when my client needs a shield. This is the worst part of being a stylist to me. I love products. I am a product junkie. But when we spray like this, everything comes back in our face. So for those that don't like to wear makeup, I would advise you, even though I don't have it on myself because I was hot earlier, especially with these masks, put makeup on to protect your skin because all your products are going to slap you back in the face. At the end of the day, you're a grease monster. Doesn't matter what you use. But that's one way of us taking care of ourselves as well as the client. Now, this is her original color. She's on a shadow root. Now that this one side is completely done, she got her movement. Our product done what it said it was going to do. This is the touchable. So you can get a desired hole, but still run your fingers through. And the client is not second guessing if she likes the color, if she's content with the finish, because it's right here in front of her face. And my face fringes, I always do, like if the client wears their hair in their face, I do that piece last because I want her to be extra sexy. So she could throw it back and be like, what you saying? That's just me personally. It has nothing to do with furniture. Again, that's just me personally. Do you guys see your shine? And that's from 3 products. The Apple G, which is my reconstructor, and it's a leave-in. My Matrix Mega Vanish. It is a ultra shine with, it's a high shine gloss, but it has coconut oil in it. And then the finish with our Paw Mitchell invisible undone texture spray for control. The number one thing, like I said, for y'all blow dryers, short strokes. You can go as fast as you want as long as your strokes are short. But when you get to your mid shaft, take a little bit more time and go through smoothly. The slower I go with a little more time and control, and my nozzle is not burning my bristles, it's right above it. The bristles is what's giving me the control to calm the cuticle down. The heat is what's directing it. By the time I let it cool off, because we know whatever we do hot, we expand. Whatever we do cool, we close it back down. That's what it is. That's what it is. Same thing with the flat iron. Once I smooth, if I hit it as soon as I smooth, I never gave it time for the cuticle to close back down, so you press it right back open. That's where your fluid comes in. So ready to at the shop. We all live in Houston. We know we have a lot of humidity, so we might have to use more product. But if the client wants something easy and breezy, we give them that. But if they get wet, just say it starts raining this afternoon and she comes back tomorrow. Anytime I got to plug in electronic, I start my services at 25 and up. So if they need a recurl or anything, time is money. I gave you the product. I can recreate on top of the product. But if I didn't do my job in the first place, if I didn't take the time to let it smooth, and she walked directly out the shop, getting her car and her hair blows up, that's mine. So if I know how to prevent it, then I eliminate her not being satisfied. I eliminate not doing quality work. And I eliminate wasting my product. Because that's the whole point of us doing, for y'all to understand your muscle, your foundation, your muscle, and your finish. If I put these products in, regardless if my client is curly and she wants to go straight, if she's curly and she wants to be diffused and stay curly, if I know what I'm putting in and how I'm putting it in, the effort should show through whatever she's doing. So if she was curly and I put in products to straighten her, then it should have a soft, natural shine under any light. She should be able to run her hands through, same way I'm doing right now, without this hair frizzing up like this. Because I one blow dryer and then I came back and filled it one more time with the ceramic heat. So your assignment is to pre-dry, blow dry with a bevel, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Rachel? And then to go through and do the smoothing iron. Yes, you have to have a timestamp. No, we won't see if you are going through directly the first time and then hitting it with the heat, but I'm just telling y'all, that's the number one thing that I notice when y'all are on the floor, if y'all are rushing. Actually, you have this, you do this all the time to your own hair in your wigs. You'll curl, run your fingers through it. And then you're like, I don't understand why my wig looks frizzy. You know how many times you've asked me that? It's because you're running your hands through it. You don't let it cool down. So if you give it that second, even if I come from this panel to the one right behind it, by the time I finish that one and I touch this one, it's cool. So it eliminates all of that. I look at her looking like a frizz monster on this side. And hey, girl.
I'm guessing I did the frizzy side.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So that's all that I have. After a zillion years, aka 20, doing hair, I still set my section up. I still, I'm a freak of nature. I don't like hair as long as I've been doing this. So when it's in my tools, I take it out immediately and discard of it because I don't like it all over me. I don't like it crawling on top of me. It's just my habits. I have EPA on my station, ready to roll, to spray in between clients and to spray my tools. It's just habit for me. And then I'm done. Then I can send my client up the block with a $65 to $75 flat iron service. I'm done in less than 30 minutes. So, do y'all have any questions? I know y'all done a flat iron at the beginning of this week. I mean, not a flat iron, a blow dry with Teresa, right?
Yeah. I have a question.
What's that?
Okay, so I've noticed like one of the biggest issues when it comes to like flat iron and bobs, you know how people are able to get that flat look without it looking like stringy and crazy looking at the ends, but it looks like an actual bob to finish. How are you able to, because I find myself always bumping the bottom of someone's hair because I really just, the finish just never comes out the way I want, if that makes any sense. How do you achieve that finish? Does that have to go with your cut? Or yeah, just a blunt bob. Let's say you just wanted to flat iron that. I know that sounds like an easy.
It's your cut, and it's what you're doing with your
wrist.
Yeah. So the bevel that you do with your blow dry is not, you don't do it with the flat iron.
Oh, you talking about when we go in? We don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is my one length. I think I've done this one for scholars class. For your one length, you know, they naturally curve because the way we are taught to cut it. But if you want it to be a sharper polish, then it's all in your technique of how you drop it. So I'll probably leave my comb in longer. And when I get to the end, I'm definitely gonna go mega slow.
Okay, so the things I noticed, I don't know if this makes a difference, but your comb you use your comb on the outside.
Yes.
Does that create a different look, dude? How does that affect your?
What you mean on the outside?
As opposed to coming on that inside.
Because these smaller teeth are keeping the hairs contracted smaller.
Right.
Have somebody with thicker hair, I gotta go on this side. But if I'm flat, Rachel, I always use this side for her. Her hair is finer. It gives me more control. If I don't have it at the end of my flat iron, I'm not saying that I can't get it smooth, but I might have to go over it more than once.
No, I meant like, okay, I'm so sorry. The positioning of your actual comb. So you see how yours is on the outside or the same side as the flat iron? Mine literally will be here. So
back here?
Yeah, so my comb, yeah.
Just
like that. Huh?
Where's your control if you from the back? This is just straight your ruler. They got the most weight on the comb.
Okay, that's why okay, that may make things look different.
Yeah.
Okay, I try that.
If I have it back this way, then there's no tension either. I feel it, it's none. But if I have it this way, because I can anchor this comb in between my fingers, I can control my movement too. It's the weight of the ruler of the comb. That's it. I'm good, thank
Thank you for that.
you. Uh-huh.